Hey friend, welcome back to Crafter Support. Today I'm going to share with you how to use the semi-new Cricut Printable Iron-On for light colored fabrics. They also make the dark one on the right hand side here, but today we're just working with a white one. Light colored fabrics, I mean not white, light. But I am going to say, if you're going to use anything other than white fabric, my suggestion is go ahead and just pick up the dark colored fabric one. It just works better in my opinion. I have another video on a different brand of this that isn't a Cricut brand, but it explains why. I just think it turns out better. So if you're going to be using the light fabrics one, again, I suggest you do it on just plain white because the color will come through and you're gonna see exactly how thin this iron-on is, but it's pretty great. All right, so true Cricut fashion, we have the little squared little checkered background. If you have a bottom loading printer, you're going to want to be able to see this when you stick it in your printer, and I'll show you that when I load it into mine. This is for inkjet printing. If you have a back loading printer, you're just going to be able to see the white front. So this is your back. And like I said, load it in, it's going to pull it up through if you have a bottom loading one. If it's not, it's going to pull it straight in. So here I'm just putting it into my HP printer. This printer is super old. I've had it for many, many years, but it works amazing. And I'm just going to load it with the Cricut squares facing up. And I'm just going to click OK. I got a new computer and I was having trouble setting the print quality. Always do best. So like best, highest, whatever it says. When you're doing print quality, it just gives you a better print. It might use a little bit more ink, but I have an option down below that is kind of like an affiliate thing where if you subscribe to it, I get like a month free or something like that. But all the information will be down below. No pressure. If you have a friend that has the HP Smart Instant Ink, call them up, get the link from them, whatever you want to do. But the option will be down there. So this is the cute little turkey that I picked out, and I'll also have that linked below, what the ID is on Cricut Design Space. And he is super cute. He's going to go on my white napkin. It's a polyester napkin, and I'm going to be using him in my I have a Longenberger like muffin basket or roll basket that I'm going to be putting this in, and he's just going to be peeking out of the roll basket. Sorry about the craziness with the camera. I'm going to be using my blue mat just because I think it works great with this sort of stuff, and I'm going to be using my Cricut brayer, and I'm just going to bray it down. I really believe that braying your material down makes a huge difference. In the past, I've been like, it's not a big deal, but ever since I've been actually using mine, I absolutely use it all the time. So now we're jumping over to my Maker 3, and we're just going to go ahead and load it in. Basically, my machine is just going to look at the sides like it's going to do, it's going to scan it, and it's going to know exactly where to cut, and then it's going to cut it out with such precision. I did put a bleed on this, so now we're just ready to peel it off. So if you're familiar with my channel, we know we flip it upside down so we don't roll it. And I do have the plastic cover of the Cricut mat just to kind of protect the ink, even though it's completely dry. I rubbed my hand across it. It's completely dry. I just do this out of habit. And now we are ready to put it aside, and be sure to put your film back on your mat. And then my mats hang directly in front of me on the wall, so I'm just going to put it back in place so it's put away nicely. And I'm going to use my Cricut tool to just weed the top edge and peel it. Now this is where you really see how thin this iron-on material is, and I love it. So if you watch my other video on another brand, which is the Jollies brand, which I have a new one of those I want to share with you guys too. But this particular, the Jollies, it's a little bit thicker, so it feels, it has like that rubbery feel, the other brand. But this, I was so surprised. It's a thin, so super thin. It looks like it's been painted directly. It doesn't feel like paint. I don't want to confuse anyone. It doesn't feel like paint, but it's like smooth on the fabric. It reminds me of infusible ink in the manner of you don't feel it. At least I don't. I mean, I'm rubbing my hand across it now. I don't feel it. It's on the fabric very nicely. And I think because it's so thin, it doesn't have like that bulk or that lift that maybe you would think, like that little rise in the fabric. It doesn't have that, and I love that about this. So here's how thin it is. You can see this is the side that's been actually printed on, and then there's how much it comes through. So know that that is super thin. And now we have to get our fabric ready that we're going to put it on. And here there's like a little piece that cut that I could peel out, but I'm just going to let it in there because it's perfectly fine the way it is. I just didn't attach it whenever I was printing it out. I just flattened it and left it go as is. But that's a whole nother video. I'll put some videos linked down below of how you can flatten things to make any design on Design Space into like a flattened image that you can print out. And it'll cut one solid image versus each individual piece. So you can use any of your heat presses. You can use a home iron. Just make sure that you're using the right heat temperature, pressure, and time. Those are the three most important things with your getting your design to stay on properly. So underneath this here, I have my pressing mat. Right here's my Cricut pressing mat. And then here is the napkin I'm going to be putting it on. You should iron your fabric out. They actually recommend that it be pre-washed. I don't think that's a terrible thing. I think that's a good idea. Pre-wash your fabric, and then you're just going to iron it. It says for 5 seconds, but mine was really wrinkly because I have this huge bin of things that I need to use up. And I was just started pulling things and getting ideas of what I could be making with them. So I'm going to use my mini press. And it says medium pressure, so that's 2, like hit your little button twice, and for 30 seconds full pressure as you're like going over your fabric or over your design. So right now as it's heating up, I'm just using it to press down and take the wrinkles out. Yes, I know that that's why it's taking a little bit longer for it to heat up, because I'm using it while I'm waiting for it to heat up, but it's fine. I had some extra time that day. So once I get the wrinkles out to where I'm happy with it, then we do the peeling of the design. So sometimes you have to reverse items when you print them out. You don't have to do that with this, because we're going to literally peel the turkey off of the carrier sheet that it comes on. So it's kind of like we weed all the stuff we don't want, and then we have to pull the design off of that backing. And I was a little afraid, I'm not gonna lie. I was being super careful because I didn't want to tear it. And now remember, this is hot now, so you might want to completely move yours out of the way before you start peeling it. I go ahead and put a carrier sheet over top of it, and then I roll it down. So here, I apologize it's not in the view of the camera, but I'm just peeling away at the top of the turkey's little head just to get those little fine pieces. And then I'm just going to keep rolling the paper back to get the rest of it off, because like his little legs were, they're pretty thin, and there's a lot of like little divots where the feathers kind of dip in. And I wanted to make sure I didn't tear anything, because for real, this is super thin and I think it would be easy to tear. So do take your time. Have some tools available for you. I wouldn't use anything super, like I wouldn't use tweezers because I would be super afraid of it like tearing very easily or putting a hole in it. I was very gentle and used the side of my weeding tool and just gently kind of like peeled at it. And my nails wouldn't like let me get underneath it. But then once I got it started, it was super easy and it just peeled right off. So his little feet popped right off. I was so happy. I was worried that his one little foot was or what is it called? Is it a foot? Is that what they call a turkey foot, I guess? And I'm just going to lay it in place. I do pull it into view here in a second. I'm like, my camera's above me, so I don't always get to see it. But I'm just lining him up right about where I want him and trying to get the best fit. So again, super thin, but the quality of it is amazing. And the colors that came out, like I said, the colors really depend on what your printer is set at. I want to be honest with that. Like that's not something Cricut does, or I don't think the iron-on has anything to do with that. It's just plainly like what setting your printer's on for the color base. But I think the colors are perfect for our Thanksgiving. And now that it's ready, you have to put a cover sheet over it. So that is the, I forget, what did I say they called it? The pressing sheet. And it's, all it is parchment paper, really. And you can buy rolls of that from Cricut if you'd like to, or buy it at your local grocery store, you know, but definitely using that is going to help you, because you don't want to just iron right on top of it. It will crinkle up and you'll ruin it. So make sure you have the pressing sheet over top of it. So I'm just going over it, giving it that firm pressure that it needs, and holding it in all of the right spots to make sure the outside gets pressed well, and then I'll go through the inside. But it was super easy to use. I was really impressed with the quality of it. And I'd love to know if you've used it, what you thought, what you made with it, or do you plan on using it? And now I'm just going over his little belly. I kind of feel like now I should have put like a big bun or something in his like his little wings, like he's holding a bun or a roll or something like that. But that was an afterthought. But I still think it's going to look cute. So wait till you see this, guys. I really think you'll be impressed once you use this. So imagine if you were making like baby's first Thanksgiving and you put a picture of your little one on here, you know. I love that it gives you the versatility of this is not sublimation. I don't want to confuse anyone, but you can put photos on things like you can do with sublimation. It won't last as long for sure as sublimation lasts, but it will definitely be cute if you're just using it for the holidays. But look, there's like no lift. There's no like little tiny, you can't really feel where like the fabric ends and the vinyl, the iron-on begins. And that's what I was most excited about, because to me, it's like, okay, well, I could just use regular iron-on. What's the big deal if I'm using printable iron-on? Well, one is you can personalize it with photos or anything like that. And the other is you can't feel it really. I mean, I love it. So I'm going to put this to the test. I'm going to wash it. Follow me on Instagram. I will show you. We have to wait 48 hours before we can wash it, but I'm going to wash it and I'm going to let you guys know how it held up. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're all having a great day. Welcome to all the new members to Crafters Support. We also have a Facebook group I have a link to. We'd love to have you join us. Yeah, so I hope you're having a great November, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.